Aaron Alexis, a few days ago, went out and bought himself a shotgun, not some AR-15, as people have been reported. It was no assault rifle. It was a shotgun. Not only did he buy it, he bought a few rounds of ammunition. He went to a firing range to do some practicing. He also told the police earlier that he was hearing voices in his head, and he had a criminal record as long as he's from here to the Washington Monument. And yet, when the Navy decided that they could not find the recruits, they lowered the standards and decided to bring in people with criminal backgrounds, criminal records, people, child molesters, larcens, drugs, and people like Aaron himself. And this is what happens when we give in the political correctness. And so, sure enough, he shows up at the Navy Yard, gets through security, goes to the locker room, changes his clothes, pulled out his little knapsack and takes his shotgun out, walks out, kills a security guard, take their gun, their pistols, and he used those pistols to just start shooting people randomly with no second thought. And you think that if the most solid gun law that the liberals wanted on the books were on the books today, none of it would have prevented the fact that this man was sick, was a severe case of mental health, and there's nothing you really could have done to stop him, except if the military had done their job early on and not allowed him to not only join the Navy Yard as a contractor, but certainly not giving him top security clearance. You know, we all can sit back and play Monday morning quarterback. A lot of lives have been destroyed, shattered. I was reading in the Washington Post this morning where a mother had lost her son to gun violence, and now she lost her husband to gun violence as a result of what happened at the Pentagon. But let me say to you, ma'am, and all the families that are suffering, that are in anguish, asking God, Lord, why me? What have I done? Why did I lose my loved one? You know, we don't always know the answers to those questions, but by and by, time reveals all things to us. Our hearts goes out. I feel the sadness, really the deep sadness for these families. But let me tell you, guns were not the issue. Guns, it was just not the issue. In fact, if more people were armed and knew how to shoot that gun at the time Aaron was going on a rampage, he would have died much sooner and more lives would have been saved. The only reason Aaron died was because someone shot him with their gun and took him out, someone in law enforcement. It's not about guns, it's about behavior, it's about mental illness. When are we going to really focus on the real issues in America today? And all the cases that we've seen, and they seem to be more and more and more, so much of it is traced back to mental illness, depression, people hearing voices, and they need help. They need help. They need mental health, they need family help, they need community help, they need employer help. They need help. These people are really disturbed, and it doesn't take much to set them off. But we should definitely keep the families and the loved ones and everyone who experienced this, who lived through it, and to deal with the guilt and the anguish of what they were able to witness, we should pray for them. Because at the end of the day, only by the grace of God that it was not you and I. We'll keep them in our prayers, but remember, it's not about guns here. It's not about the left here. It's about the fact that mental illness and security lapses took place that allowed this man to commit the mass massacre that he committed this week on the Navy Yard. I'm Armstrong Williams.